Going series. Not really. The first clip was 2016, like the year of the weed or whatever, best year for legalization. The next clip was not so fast. Not all cannabis activists are on board with all these new regulations and laws that are coming into play. Not all of them you get to vote on. Some of them are just being done auspiciously in the background by the legislators in your local governments and state governments. Uh, Not in the federal government. They haven't done anything special. But to say the least, there's a lot going on. As a matter of fact, I'm spending a lot of time making these clips because there's just every day there's 5 new stories because there's 9 states or some shit. There's a lot to report on. So let's get right into it. This is the Medical Daily. Kelsey Drain wrote this. Medical and Recreational States 2016, where is cannabis legal across the country? So get ready for the roller coaster ride. This is usually done like 1 or 2 states at a time. Now it's going to be like we're going to have to keep track of a lot of things. But remember, with some of these slow rollouts, these what passes today might not be law tomorrow, and you might not see actual marijuana being sold to a person legally for some time too. And I will be making clips about each one of these states. I'll make an individual clip like Arizona or whatever, Nevada, Massachusetts, Maine. I'll make a clip for everybody that's doing whatever they're doing and explain what they're doing and explain whether you should vote for it or not, whether you should be happy or mad about it. So currently 25 states and the District of Columbia have legalized the use of marijuana for medicinal purposes, while 4 states and D.C. have legalized cannabis for recreational use. In November, a number of states will be also voting on marijuana legalization in its various forms in 9 state ballot measures. 5 states will consider legalizing recreational use of the drug, while 4 will consider legalizing its medicinal use. The National Institute on Drug Abuse describes medical marijuana as using the whole unprocessed marijuana plant or its basic extracts to treat a disease or a symptom. The Food and Drug Administration has neither approved nor recognized the drug as medicine, and meanwhile, states have been turning to voters to decide what kinds of marijuana use they will allow. So far, medical marijuana has been approved for use in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, D.C., Maryland, Michigan, Louisiana, Illinois, Minnesota, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Hawaii, and Ohio. And then recreational use is legal in D.C., Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. By the way, I left out Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska in the previous list, but they also have medical marijuana as well, which obviously they've had that before the recreational in every single case. Now, who's going to be voting on recreational marijuana? Michigan won't be. Michigan was one of the only ballot initiatives to legalize recreational marijuana that got shot down because of, quite frankly, a bunch of bullshit, Republican right-wing bullshit. Just go watch my previous clip. I think I got one called My Legalize in the 180-Day Shaft. That's a good one. So anyway, who's going to be legalizing, or shall I say voting on whether or not to legalize recreational marijuana in November? It will be Arizona, California, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada. And I'll be doing short clips on each of them, like I keep saying, so stay tuned. Just hit that subscribe button, please. I need a few more subscribers, and I'm going to have my own URL. Ooh, boy. So far, all eyes are on California. So what? Forget about Arizona, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada? Not really, but I can guarantee you this. If all of them could be like, no, we ain't legalizing recreational use of marijuana. And you're still going to hear the same stories for the next 2 years coming out of California. It's going to be as always with any kind of new rollout of any kind of new law, it's going to be a super fast, super quick, anecdotal experiment that's going to prove everybody prove that it's not that big of a deal if you still think that legalizing recreational marijuana has its problems. In Colorado wasn't proof enough that there is no problems. So, Forbes reported that roughly 60% of California's population is in favor of recreational use. Now, they used to talk about these polls before, and they used to say stuff like, if the poll number was like 60 or lower, like it had to be like a 60 to 61, 62 or above before you were like, okay, that's guaranteed to pass. 60 is kind of still, ooh, it might not pass. But it's California. Come on, man. You trying to tell me that it's not going to pass? I mean, there's a lot of people that are afraid of this new Proposition 64, and I will get into that when I do that clip on those individual states. I promise. We'll find out. We'll dig in. But overall, I don't think it's going to have a problem passing. All right, there will be a 10% sales tax on the state's marijuana sales, but no sales tax on medical marijuana, rightfully so. Michigan. Anyway, quote, my personal opinion is that it's already a $2 billion market today, and I think it could grow very rapidly to $5 billion, David Deinenberg, Chief Executive Officer of Kind Financial, a leading software company for the cannabis industry, told Forbes about the market in California. Okay, so medical marijuana, there was two ballot initiatives that seemed like they should have made it, but they ended up not making it. One was Oklahoma, and they got more than enough signatures, but again, just like Michigan, something happened in the court system, and I believe it was the Attorney General changed the language of what the voters would see on the petition, and just by doing that, he made it so it wouldn't make it back on time from whatever process it has to go through after a change is made to even get on the ballot. So they had to take that to the Supreme Court and challenge it, and it's just a mess. And then another one was Missouri. They were petitioning to. Their petition drive basically was saying, the medical marijuana program that we currently have in place is bullshit, straight up, and we want a real medical marijuana program like everybody else. Currently, right now, were they even mentioned on the list up here? I think what they had was some kind of a CBD thing, and it's just not working out. I don't know. I'll scrap that. I'll get back to that later. So who is voting for medical marijuana this time in November? And what should we feel like there? Well, we have Florida. This is go around number 2 with them. This question number 2 on Florida? Will it be a constitutional amendment, and will they get the votes needed? It looks kind of good again. In Florida, about 77% of residents support the idea. So I heard someone say just knock off like 12 points, and that tells you where they're really at. Like if you knock off 12 points, you're still doing really good, Florida. So it looks like Florida's a go. But the initiative requires 60% of the vote to pass. Again, that constitutional amendment has that higher threshold. But you're still, if you knock 15 off 77, it's still 65. Or no, 62. I'm sorry. Forbes reported that a similar measure failed in 2014 when it fell short of the necessary vote. Yeah, by like 6 points or less. I think they had the 54% and they needed 60, or I don't even know if that's the case. But, alright, so besides Florida, you have Arkansas, you have Montana, North Dakota will all voice their opinions on medical marijuana measures. And I will do stories on all of these, every one of them. Believe it. It's only 9 clips. I think I can knock that out in like one sesh. So go to the polls in November. Vote your conscience. Vote for who and what you believe in. Don't listen to any of this outside crap. And if you don't believe in anything, then don't fucking go vote. Who cares, I mean, these days, not voting is probably more powerful than voting. The oligarchy's in full control, and it seems like this time they're finally kicking some bones down. The medical marijuana, if all of these pass, 1, 2, 3, 4 more states, that'll be 29 states in the District of Columbia will have medical marijuana. Good luck to everybody in all these states, and I'm going to say it one more time. Keep an eye out for those clips coming real soon talking about each of these individual states and exactly what is going on with their proposed ballot initiatives that you will be going to vote on. And maybe this will help clear up any confusion you might have, because a lot of times these things are wordy, or you might not feel like. I mean, I remember seeing California's ballot in the midterms. It was like a book. So watch the clips as they come out, especially if you're in one of these states. Especially if you, I mean, I hope you're not that lazy. Like, if you're in one of these states, you should look into it, figure out everything you need to know about it. Every state has different things going on, and some of them are really good. Well, none of them are really good. Some of them are okay. Some of them are really bad. So, stay tuned. Subscribe, I should say.